By Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, and shalom to all the Akimat pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. We're going to go into the lesson of temptations, enticements, and basically spiritual seed planting, from the spiritual demon Satan, because Satan is on the run, man. He's on the clock 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. All right, every year, every hour on the hour, every minute on a minute. And he's always attacking and trying to plague your thoughts with negative intentions towards yourself, negative intentions towards a brother around you, the brotherhood, the elders and the apostles, and things of that nature, because naturally we're under the curses. Just like I watched a video with Elder Yakal from San Francisco. He's speaking about that. Deuteronomy 28 and 54 spoke about how we'll have evil towards our brethren. But when you come into this truth, you're supposed to be a new creature, all right? Meaning a new creation of Yahushua, and not subject unto all those vain thoughts as you were in your past life. Now, of course, these things are going to tempt you and entice you, but the difference is in this truth is you have a reactor, a natural reactor, which is these scriptures. All right, this is the positive to the negative, man. All right, when those negative thoughts try to plant in your mind, whether it's ill will towards a brother, feeling a certain way towards a brother around you, and anything, man, that's outside the spirit, then you deal with it in the spirit. That's right. All right, you shouldn't backbite, you shouldn't gossip. The scriptures speak a lot about a gossiping tongue. The scriptures speak a lot about not going to your brother and speaking to that individually by himself, one-on-one. Matter of fact, you can get that Matthew 18, because that's important. Those are one of the few ways that Satan is going to tempt you, is through the brotherhood, because the spiritual demon Satan knows that's what we hold near and dear. And in this faith of ours, it's a lot of things that may happen that may try to steer you off the faith, steer you from being as charitable as you want to be or as you once was. Things try to steer you from being as spiritual. It try to steer you away and separate you from the midst of the congregation so that you could be devoured as a lion. Remember, Satan is a roaring lion seeking to whom he may devour. Matter of fact, read that, what I just said, 1 Peter 5 and 8, then we're going to go back to that.
Get 1 Peter 5 and 8.
Well, that's very important. This is psychological, spiritual warfare.
That's
right. And in warfare, you have to always have your arms up. You got to always have your guard up. Always prepare for any attack of the enemy. All right? The enemy is on a move. These different spirits is going to try to come against you. And a lot of men listen to those things, man. They feed off of those energy, and they'll actually feel a certain way towards a brother, and then they can't get that spirit off of them. And what happens? They get condemned. They start to leave. They'll leave Great Millstone or get kicked out because they start to buck up against the authoritarian. All right, they start to act in ill manner, rude manner, outside of how the scriptures tell you, and then they start to justify themselves. All right, and that's off, man. You got to humble yourself one to another. We're brothers in this thing, and we minister unto each other. And if you have certain problems, certain oughts, it's a way to deal with it like a man. It's an etiquette. It's an etiquette in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
That's right.
Which etiquette is all about order. It's all about taking you from that beastly peasant-like state. And a lot of men be having that beast-like spirit. As soon as they feel a certain way, they want to go on a rampage, man.
They revert to their old self.
Yep.
Instead of reverting to what they learned from the scriptures. That flesh kick in.
That's right.
That's why the scriptures say, if you live in the spirit, you should talk in the spirit?
Walk in the spirit.
Walk in the spirit.
Yeah, a lot of guys get reproved or things of that nature, and then they'll get on an emotional frenzy, man. It's all pandemonium in their mind. Their mind is rocking all over the place. They have no mental stability, and Satan is goddamn playing full court fucking game inside of the tater, man. Dunking, shattering the backboard, jacking the floor up,
how you was a little kid and you always used to go to the cheat codes and cut all the out of bounds off.
Yeah.
Cut your 3-pointers up. Satan just in your mind playing with all the cheat codes.
No boundaries, man.
Yeah,
All
no
gas, no
boundaries.
brakes. He playing. Oh, just like them computers, tapping all kind of buttons, and you can't stop it because you don't have mental stability. But if you know the spiritual brothers that's in the faith that revert back to the scriptures, you know how to control yourself. You know how to have self-control and self-reliance through prayer, meditation, fasting, rebuking those demons off of you, going to the Lord, going to the brother, listening to what the scripture's saying instead of listening to your emotions. So you can read that.
This is 1 Peter 5:8. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant."
Yeah, the word sober goes into be having a high level of self-awareness. All right, look at a gazelle. Those different animals like gazelles, zebras, bison, antelope, they're the prey, and they get preyed on by apex predators such as wolves, lions, leopards, and things of that nature. So one of their strength mechanisms for survival is having a high level of self-awareness. All right, but they and as well as being agile and things of that nature, being able to escape enemy hands. But before they're able to escape, they have to already catch the enemy in the act.
Yeah, they see the enemy before the enemy sees them.
That's right. Just like when you'll see a storm of like I said, wildebeest and things of that nature start to run. One of them was sober-minded. They didn't just have their head down grazing, just eating and feeding naively, not being aware that it's predators that's always compassing them. And that's what you got to always be aware that it's predators that's always compassing you. That's why the scripture says to be sober. Can you continue?
Yeah. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour."
Right. And the word adversary means basically enemy. Your adversary, the devil, or someone who's against you, it says he seeks to whom he may devour. All right? And just like we spoke about before, if you're using the weapons and the spirit of the Lord gave you, you won't be devoured, man. You'll escape time and time again. As it is written in Psalms, the 34th chapter, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth through them all. It also speaks about that in Psalms 127, how our soul is escaped from the hands. Matter of fact, can you get that real fast? Because that links perfectly with that lion. And then we'll continue.
Psalms 147.
127, if I'm not mistaken, it's 3. That's not it. Let me see. Did you finish that, Peter, though? I'm going to get it for you. You finished it?
No, there's some more on it.
Okay, read it.
It says
124 and 7. Okay, but you keep going.
It says, "Whom resist steadfast in the faith."
Yeah, whom resist steadfast in the faith. Keep going.
"Knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world."
Right. Continue.
It says, "But the Most High of all grace, who hath called us into his eternal glory by Yahweh Shai, after that ye have suffered a while, make you perfect, established."
Yeah, so all these things is needful. That's the benefit of temptations. Temptations have a high level of benefits.
Yeah, it helps you build your faith,
strength,
your strength,
endurance, balance. It makes you actually activate the scriptures in its entirety instead of just listening to the scriptures and not dealing with the heartaches and the spiritual temptations that come with this truth. And that's the wisdom, all right? Because the knowledge aspect is just knowing what the scriptures say, but the wisdom is actually using and applying what the scriptures say. As well as like when scriptures speak about humbling yourself one to another, the Lord wants to see if you will humble yourself and use that scripture. It's not to just tell somebody else. All right, you got to humble yourself. It's times where you have to actually humble down and take reproof, take those corrections, and remember how correction is grievous unto him that forsake the way. Remember what David said in Psalms the 141st chapter about how let the righteous smite me, and it shall be a kindness unto me. All right, meaning it anoints you and it cleanses your way and directs. And going back to the word, like I said earlier, steers. It steers you back on the right track. Those are the scriptures you always have to think about, and that's little situations amongst thousands of situations that we have to deal with in this faith.
That's right.
You get that in Psalms 140:24-7.
This is Psalms 124:7. It says, "Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowler."
Right. So we're pray here. All right. It speaks about how to pray departeth not. We can't get out of this kingdom. We're locked up against our will. Different demons fester in our minds day and night, even in our dreams. Sometimes you'll have a weird, perverse dream, and you'll be like, "What the fuck was that, man?"
If I could say, you're watching. We watching just like how the animals of the prey, they watch.
Yeah. You have to watch at all times to see the enemy approaching. Because the predator, he's not going to show himself and say, "Hey, I'm the predator," jumping up and down, being bold, just going through a plain area. No, what does a predator do in most cases? They're in the trees. All right, they're under in the area where you can't detect or see them. Whether it's in high levels of grass, whether just staking out and actually throwing bait your way, such as the rattlesnake. The rattlesnake is known to entice the prey through sound waves, man. And that's these women too. A woman has the nature of a rattlesnake. Scriptures speak about lust not after her beauty, how singing actually tempts you and draws you out of faith. Wine and woman will make men of understanding to fall away. And that's another thing too. That's another spirit that you have to deal with in this truth. If you're a brother that you do your thing, so to speak, you got to watch out for that, man. Don't think that everything is just good, man, because it's not. Nothing is good here. Everything comes with a cost. Everything comes with a price. Everything comes with exchange, man. So keep your eyes on the prize and know that it's spirits that's out here that's tailor-made, tailor-designed to tempt you so that you won't make it to that finish line, man.
Tailor designed just for you. Everything that you like.
Yeah. The woman in the red dress. What did the dude say in the Matrix? I made her perfect. I made her. I made her for just how you like. And he said, "You know what? I can make you your own if you want. Make it your own. Get you your own temptation, man." But Neo knew what path he needed to stay on. So it's the same thing, and that's the only way that we can escape from the snare of the fowler. And the snares represent what? Traps, nets, different things that catch your ankle, different things that stream you up. Different things that chop you away, different detonations, You can't step on the wrong thing, man. In certain, depending on the warfare, you step on the wrong thing, that's instant death.
Yeah, you can't really even afford to make that one mistake. It's good. We have plenty of accounts where guys made that one mistake, man, and judgment was right there.
That's right. And we dealing in the spirit of dealing with high calculations, man. Knowing that certain things will lead to instant death and will potentially get you kicked out the truth and things of that nature. That's why you have to deal with the spirit of safety, man. This truth is all about being as safe as possible, because anything that's unsafe and dangerous can put you in a predicament that you may not have the wisdom to get out of. And it's a lot of situations where things may be bigger than you, man. That's another thing too, putting your pride aside and knowing that certain spirits you may venture out into, they could linger in your mind and they could break you down.
That's right.
So your best thing is to never even associate yourself with it and flee these things. As the scripture says, "Oh young man." And can you get this?
A little bit more.
Okay.
It says, verse 8, "Our help is in the name of the Lord, who made heaven and earth."
Yeah. So our help is in the name of the Lord. The word help goes into Izara, which means stability, support. All right. So our stability is in the name of Yahweh. All right. He's the one that supports us when we're in these hard times.
That strong tower.
Yep.
Proverbs 18:10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous runneth into it.
Yep.
And throughout your situations, man, you gotta remember that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is the first one who you run to. He's they're our Savior.
And the another importance too is you always got to be real with yourself, man. Know when you're wrong. That's a spirit a lot of men fell out with too. They never was fucking wrong, man. They was always right even when they was wrong. Well, I was wrong, but he didn't have to come at me like that. If he would have said, "Nah, you was wrong. You just admitted that you was wrong."
God.
Deal like a fucking man. Excuse my French, but that's the truth of it. We're wrong at times. We fall short of the glory at times.
That's right.
We're weak at times. We make stupid decisions at times. And that's what you have to always acknowledge. You can't, well, nah, not me. I mean, I'm always right. My judgment is always on point. No, we coming into this thing, man. We're learning judgment. We're fully obtaining subtlety and discretion and those different steps of wisdom, but it takes practicing, and a lot of times you err certain times and you see how to hit it the right way. Then you be like, oh, that's how you do it. Damn, I've been fucking up this whole time, and now I figured it out. But that's good. The Lord wanted you to go through those mistakes,
right,
and catch that hell so that you see the right way of doing it. You want to say something?
Yeah, it's like interrupting, but the best teachers are the ones who had experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, what's the when you rather have someone who's teaching you who can actually say that they've been through it and fought through it and defeated it?
Yeah,
you know.
Certain people that, like boxing, for instance, certain people that got knocked out, they'll tell you, no, don't keep your chin out there, Don't be too proud when you're boxing. Don't be too high-minded. Know how to defend yourself, keeping your guard always up. Because as soon as you play games and play like you can't get touched, that's when your ass get knocked out.
That's right.
And another thing, too, when another thing with boxing is don't get too, get too beside yourself in a fight. When you got somebody down at the ropes, go ahead and take them out, man. Don't be a showcase Israelite all about the entertainment and the prettiness of it, man. Execute things quickly, expediently, and keep it pushing, man. Spirits jump in your mind, cut that shit quick. Don't let it fester and linger, because now you're not dealing with one spirit, you damn near dealing with 8, 9, man. And it turns to what? Legions, man. Yep. Demons attract more spirit. Like, hey, man, I got a nice crib in here.
God.
But he got the open couch. He letting everybody in, man. It's a fucking house party because your door unlocked. The doors of your mind, which the word door goes into what? Being open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Having your doors open. Our doors is closed to this world, but it's open to Yahweh Shah. Now, when you have your doors of your mind closed to a brother and open to the world, that means that you're a fool, man.
Mm-hmm.
That opens up all kind of arenas for wickedness to channel straight through your vessel. And push to the next brother. All right? That's why when you look up that word open-minded, it means foolish or stupid. And the word closed-minded means to be wise, man. And I got a scripture. This is Sirach 21:2. Flee from sin as from the face of a serpent, for if thou comest too near it, it will bite thee. Right, so these situations, don't tempt. Don't be a tempter yourself either, man. You can't be jumping in areas, danger zones, thinking that, well, I got the wisdom. I know this scripture. I know that scripture.
As if you were in the world.
Yeah. Because we knew a guy like that. Hey, our camp head. Previous camp head, he was all about jumping in the wildest of situations and seeing how his wisdom could get him out of those situations, not knowing that later on those things would clog his production, man. It became a snare onto him. It became a spider web. He was basically the fly that thought that he could jump on any spider web and escape it, man. The wise thing is, don't even play with it and tempt it alone, because the first time you get stuck, that spider gonna come and devour you, man.
That's right.
This truth is about knowing things that's bigger than you, knowing to listen, adhering to the words of Yahweh Shema Shah, listening to the apostles and elders and the wisdom that they tell you, the do's and don'ts. It's a lot of do's and don'ts in this truth. It's a lot of cautions. It's a lot of warning signs in this faith. It's a lot of stops. It's a lot of red lights, It's a lot of, it's certain things where you got green lights, but it's more red lights than green. But as soon as you wax rebellious and you take that wrong road and you take that wrong turn, what happened? Crash. You get locked up, so to speak. Which in the spirit, the men of the Lord, they'll lock you up and speak and judge you according to the wisdom, banish you, ostracize you, and discommunicate you from the congregation because you've been deemed filthy, man. You've been deemed a criminal by nature instead of a wise man that knows his boundaries and walks as a righteous citizen in Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yeah.
So flee from sin as from the, reading over Sirach 21 and 2, flee from sin as from the face of a serpent, for if thou comest too near it, it will bite thee. The teeth thereof are as the teeth of a lion, slaying the souls of men. Right, so the souls of men have been devoured by just constant sin, which sin does what? It builds to iniquity, which iniquity really is just sin it's uncontrollable sin.
Sin on top of sin.
Sin on top of sin. You got so many demons in you that your vessel is no longer controllable. It has it's fully dominated by the spiritual demon Satan. Going back to the Matrix movie, just like how that agent could always jump in those thoughts and just, basically morph from that person to the agent and attack Neo. That's how a lot of people are with these demons, man. These spirits can just morph in them because they're not exercising in the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But we exercise in the spirit, so we know how to resist these things by taking heed unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And I'm going to get that scripture in James. If you had a precept, you could get it, and we'll close.
All right, Con. I was just going to go into the account when Yahushua fasted 40 days before the night and was tempted by Satan. Satan knows exactly when to tempt you, man. So you got to be vigilant and sober, man, and know that it's Satan. And it comes to self-examination too. You gotta know what can cause you to go off, man.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, oh man, it's Satan. This is Matthew 4, and